Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to be going through my add-ons, as someone has requested me to go through the add-ons since my macro video was so helpful. So, well, let's get into it. So this is my Horde Priest and this is my Alliance Priest, and on both of these I use the same macros and the same add-ons. The only difference is I have one extra add-on for my Alliance Priest, which is for the racial. And it's just a timer, so I don't have to look at my buffs. Not that important. So I don't use a whole lot of add-ons. I really try to keep my my experience as default as possible, just because you're not using a whole ton of RAM. I like to have my graphics down fairly low, so I'm getting the highest FPS possible, although I can run it higher and still get decent FPS, so I can sort of get away with that. But as you can see here, I got a ton that I'm not using. So I was using dominoes for some of my other classes, just because I wanted to really have a nice clean UI. But for PvP, default is the way to go, in my opinion. So big debuffs. All it does is increase the debuff side of CC effects on the Blizzard raid frames. So on my raid frames, which you see in all of my videos when I'm healing, this just makes crowd control effects, so stuns, polymorphs, blinds, saps. This makes it so you can see it a lot easier, and it's not something that you might not see, and you can get it before they call it out. And in some cases you can just cleanse it as they get polymorphed if you're already aware that they're being polymorphed or something like that, and it's just instant, you know, they don't even know that they've been CC'd because you're so quick. Next is Omni CC. So this gives you a cooldown count for everything. And the reason I like this is because on the next add-on, S Arena, when I fear someone, for example, it will show their little picture, their unit frame. It will show the fear icon and a cooldown, so I don't have to have that person on focus to be able to see how long they have left on their fear, and just makes setting up CC chains a hell of a lot easier. And then this is just the configuration for it. Next is S Arena. This is just enhanced arena frames, the default ones. I will go into the game and show you how some of these work and how they look, so you can have a better understanding. But this basically just lets you get the original frames. You can resize them, you can put cast frames, you can change those, you can change the size of things, on which direction things grow, stuff like that. Again, I'll show you. Next is simple class portraits. So instead of seeing someone's face, you see their class icon, so you know exactly what class you're targeting. So if it's a warrior, it'll show the warrior logo, like the sword, or the bloodlust logo if it's a shaman. And lastly, interrupt bar. This is just like, you need it if you're going to be a healer or even a caster. It's very, very handy because it lets you track interrupts and important cooldowns as well. So if I juke someone, I can see when their cooldown for kick comes back up, so then I know when I have to juke again. This also lets you track things like Avenging Wrath, Wings for Paladins. You can track Ice Block, Blind. You can track if basically any CD that you want to track, you can. So let's head into the game and I will show you what some of these look like. And here we are back into the game. So I guess I'll start off with the basic class portraits. So there it is there. It's the priest logo, or we can get the druid one. Who's this dude? That's a demon hunter. We got another priest. I just logged into the game, so everyone is loading. Another priest. A lot of priests around. Warlock. So it's very, very simple. You get the idea. It just makes targeting people and knowing what you are targeting so much more simpler. Next, let's talk about interrupt bar. So here it is. Very simple. So I can't remember how to. Oh, there we go. So Control Shift lets you move it around. So I prefer it down here. So as you can see, I've got just a few things here. Mainly all of the interrupts, and then I've got Blind, Cloak of Shadows, Dispersion, AMS, Bubble, Fortitude, not Fortitude, Iron Fort, I think that is what it's called. What else do we have here? Hex, and I usually have, oh here we go, there's Freeze Trap. So this just lets me know whenever someone uses a interrupt or a CD if that's what I pick. So I think it's a little outdated. I do have to update it. I won't update it until the actual expansion comes out, because a lot of these add-ons aren't currently working. But you'll be able to find alternatives. This is just what I use, and if I don't have the ability to use these because they're outdated, I'll just find a new one, and I'll update the description as well. So let's go ahead and show you S Arena. So S Arena is was test mode. Right. So this is S Arena. So it's the basic Blizzard frames. They're usually over here. And they're usually smaller. There we go. So this is the size that they usually are. And being over there, I mean, it's just really out of the way. My frames are like my party frames are here, so I like to drag them over here, just so it's everything is localized. And then I just like to make it a little bit bigger, just to make it easier for me to see. So I got cast frames right there. You can mirror it, so you can change which side you want things on, depending on if you want it to be exactly like this, or if you want it to be more like yours. I prefer this just because it makes it's quicker to see the cooldown for CCs, or like whether or not someone is CC'd. And you can see here I can make trinket font size bigger or smaller. I can make I don't show that. It's not working. Trinket size, I can make that bigger, I can make it smaller. So it just makes it very, very customizable. Just make that 1. Cast bar size, again, you can make it massive, you can make it really, really small. It all depends on just like how you feel about it. Class colored, so you can make it class colored. Again, it makes it easier. So right now, I have to look over here. So this is disc, this is mage, and this is rogue. However, if I click this, I can say, oh, white mage, white is priest, blue is mage, and yellow is rogue. Very, very simple. High player names. I prefer to high player names because I don't need to see their names. I don't say get on, get on Lady Killer X, or get on lol, I backstab you. I just need to say get on rogue, get on mage. We have a DR tracker as well. So you see up here, this is the DR tracker. So if someone, this is all just for polymorph. So if someone's been polymorphed 3 times, the amount of time remaining before I can get a full polymorph on them is 8 seconds, 7 seconds. And then it's just got bro, right. Just makes it easier. Again, I prefer it like that. Aura watch. This is what I was talking about, where it has the CDs there. Font size, I don't really care about the size. I just like to see whether or not they are CC'd. And show background. Ugh, disgusting. Show pets. I like to show pets because that way I can target them. It's nothing big. Again, it's just how I prefer to do it. So let's go ahead and reload UI, set everything in stone, and there we go. That will all be done. So we've got just a quick recap. We've got the basic raid frames. We've got the S Arena. We have the interrupt bar, and we have Omni CC, which I probably don't need anymore, considering Blizzard has their own default stopwatch now, don't they? Combat action bars, show number, cooldowns. So there we go. Again, it just makes it easier, so you can say, oh, I've got 5 seconds left on paints up, or I've got a minute left instead of guessing. So I hope you guys found this informational. I hope you took something out of it. Another add-on which I think would be very useful for a lot of people who are just getting into PvP, or your spatial awareness, your raid awareness is not fully developed yet, there is an add-on called Gladiator Loss SA, and what it does is it calls things out. So if I use Pain Sup, the add-on will say Pain Suppression, like when someone else uses it. Or if I use Desperate Prayer, it will say Desperate Prayer, Rapture, stuff like that. It's just big CDs, so then you know if someone is using Polymorph or if someone is using Avenging Wrath. It also tells you when you kick someone or when you're locked. So if you kick someone, it'll say, you know, kicked Holy or kicked Frost. With you, it'll say, I don't know if it actually calls it out for you, but it'll probably just say, you know, locked on Holy or something like that. Very, very useful. So I'll see you guys in the next video, which I'm not 100% sure what it'll be, but I'll keep you guys in the loop. Have a great day, and I'll see you later.